Okay, this is take two of a brand new review of a brand new Nissan Frontier truck, the SV trim. A little bit of the backstory as I started on the other video, and then somebody drove by who knew me and stopped for a second, so I had to cut the video. But anyway, this is actually the second truck that I got in a little over 5 weeks. And interesting backstory. I had been looking for a truck, and I pretty much had settled on either Nissan or Toyota. I wanted something a mid-size. The Tacomas were way out of my price range. The same thing with the Colorado and whatever Ford's mid-size is. So I went to the Nissan dealership. We're trading in on my wife's Altima, 2008 Altima. And I was getting a key fob, so I said, well, why not look around? So they showed me their inventory, and first line of vehicles I was looking at was the King Cab and the 4 cylinders, and it just did not have the engine power that I needed. You know, for what I do towing. I've got several boats. I'm retired up at Lake Livingston. I've got a few boats. One of them is a 3,000-pound, 23-foot sailboat. I don't tow it that often, but if I ever have to, I'd like to have something that could do it. And this thing with the V6 can certainly do it. So anyway, I wound up for just, I don't know, it was more of an impulse buy, and I should have thought it through a little bit better. But I wound up with a 2016. It had been a loaner, a dealer loaner. It only had 759 miles on it. But it was the S trim. And I didn't think that would be a big deal, but it really did turn out to be a pretty big deal. And here's why. Just about every vehicle I've had didn't have just a whole lot of bells and whistles. Most of them just had crank windows, and you know, they were always used, except for 2 Caravans that I had. I did buy new. I kept one for 20 years, so I do keep my vehicles quite a long time, at least 10 years, in that one case 20 years. So I'm in my late 60s, and this will probably be my last vehicle. So anyway, I went ahead and got this one. I got a really good deal, $22,000 for it, and you know, that paid for the extended warranty and the tax and all the other things, as opposed to getting a 2018 that I thought, well, big deal, it's got crank windows and, you know, doesn't have the nav system and all that. So anyway, I got it as a silver. Had the tow package put on it, had the windows tinted, and it looked great. And then after a few weeks, I noticed, you know, this window thing did become a problem. And there were some other issues too. So anyway, it had, first of all, it had a keyed entry. It did not have the keyless entry. And this really actually became almost as bad of a problem as the crank windows. And here's why. On the back of the S trim, you have a handle here, but there's no way to get it open. You have to actually go back into the truck, back here, reach back, believe it or not, if you can find it, and then flip it open, and that's how you get the back door open. Because apparently they just made the door for the keyless model. So that just really sucked. I mean, that just drove me almost absolutely crazy. And my wife, who just recently had back surgery, could not reach it at all. We went to Ace Hardware. She took it to Ace Hardware to get a few things. She could not even get to the back locks to get them open. So that was a big, big negative. And the other thing was the crank windows on the S trim are way down here. So I don't know if you can see it, but if you close the door like this, your hand actually comes between the seat when you're rotating it like this. And that gets real old, and it does quite, it takes quite a bit of effort. And then if you want to do anything over here on the passenger side, well, yeah, you kind of can if you scoot your body over, or even the locks, the same thing. Just opening and closing a passenger door lock is problematic. So anyway, after about a month, I said, this is not going to work. So anyway, I went ahead and just stuck with the same dealership, and they really weren't too sympathetic. They're in business to make money, so they gave me basically the Kelley Blue Book trade-in, $18,500 for it. So I automatically lost $3,500. But some new incentives had kicked in for the 18s. So actually it brought this truck's value down to 23 something. And then of course they start adding on other things like this special wheel package, which actually is pretty nice. It's the nitrogen wheel, nitrogen filled wheels, and these are 16 inch as opposed to the 15 on the S trim. And the other thing I really like about this is that it rides much better than the S trim, and I guess it has maybe something to do with a better suspension or the wheels or something, but it rides much better. Let me see, the other thing is, of course, the power windows that's just great. Works out really nice. And let's see what else. It did not come with a bed liner. I went ahead, and part of the deal was for them to put the bed liner in, so they're going to be doing that. And the only other concession I could get them to make was put a tow package on it, and that would ordinarily be about $600, and they're doing it for about half the price. So anyway, I'm not going to go on into any of the other details, the specifics about the cup holders and all the other features, but in buying whatever you're going to buy, get what you want. The features that you don't try to rationalize a vehicle, especially if you're going to keep it as long as I keep my vehicles. Get what you want. You don't have to. If you can afford the heated seats, that's fine. The heated steering wheels, that's fine. I particularly don't have any use for that. The other thing is and be aware of this when you buy the SV, because they say it comes with all these perks, but there are some things I found that the value package does not come with, and the system, the entertainment system, it does not have a navigation system on it. Not that I really use that feature that much. I basically use my phone, or you can get a TomTom or a Garmin. Some people actually like those better than the stock nav systems, and there's a lot of places you can put them, but I'm just going to get something to put my phone, and that's basically what I use, because I don't, like I said, I don't travel to a lot of places where I would need that particular feature. I can't really think of anything else. The only other thing I noticed that may be a little bit different in the 18, virtually the same interior, exterior. I couldn't see any visible differences. I think on the 16 there was a handle right here. I may be mistaken, but that, I wasn't using that anyway. So, but overall, I am happy with this one. It's going to function, provide what I want. I'm just glad I didn't get the 4-cylinder. Crew cab is almost a must, at least if you want interior space, if that's primary to you. If you don't, then go ahead and get the king cab and get the 6-foot bed. But for me, this is basically what I needed. And anyway, that's about it. If I can think of anything else, I will throw it in. Other than, like I said, it wound up put me in the hole about $3,500 on almost instant depreciation on the trade-in, and I probably could have haggled them up a little bit, but a lot of stuff has been going on, and I just said uncle, and if they would do the bed liner and the tow package, and you know, the payments really didn't come out to be much more than I was already paying on the older one. So anyway, let this be a lesson to everybody who's thinking about buying a car or truck.